morning. I swear a lot.
It is 9:58 in the AM, and you're watching The Foreman. I'm your host, Foreman, and it's Foreman Talks. It's been a really long time since I did this. I think it's actually, maybe the last one I did was perhaps a year ago, or at the very least it was last year. For those of you who don't know, Foreman Talks was something I did, funnily enough, last year, where I realized I had a lot of things I kind of just wanted to talk about, and that doing so in videos wasn't always a good idea, especially if, you know, I'm playing something a bit more involved, and it's like, well, I don't really have time to wax lyrical about something when I'm trying to beat something that's excessively difficult, you know, because I like to play a lot of difficult games. In those moments, I kind of need to concentrate, and the best I can manage in terms of commentary would be to react to what's happening, not actually discussing topics or talking about things at length. I kind of stopped doing it because I basically ran out of ideas. I ran out of ideas for topics, and, you know, it just kind of fell away, and I was like, look, there's a bunch of other stuff I want to do now. I should probably focus on the videos rather than doing this. But this was also dreamed up as an idea to, as silly as it sounds, give me something that's a little easier to produce once a week, because last year, it's not been so bad this year, but it was definitely a problem last year, I think. I was starting to burn myself out quite a lot. I'd get eye strain, I'd end the day, right, and I'd be working on videos all day, and I'd finish, and it'd be like 11 o'clock, and I'd have maybe 45 minutes to actually relax and do something for myself, and then it was straight to bed, just to continue the cycle the next day. And I love doing this work, of course. I've mentioned that like a million times now. I love doing this work. But no matter what you do, no matter how much you enjoy your job or chosen profession or what have you, you've always got to have time to relax. You need time to yourself, and you need time to chill. Even if you spend that time doing nothing, you chose to spend that time doing something. It's something you chose to do, and you had the time to do so. Everyone needs that time, regardless what you do. But that's not really the topic for today, although I just suppose there isn't really a hard line topic for today, so general discussion is fine. I wanted to do this because we hit 2,000 subs. Now, it kind of hit me by surprise. We were coming up to 2,000 subs. I knew this, you know, I could tell we were coming up to 2,000 subs. But the day the final part of the LobCorp series went up, we actually hit 2,000, and we jumped to 2,000 at that point. I think we're at like, I don't remember the exact numbers, so I'm almost certain I'll be wrong, but I think I was at like 1,960 odd on the day, or at least when the day started. And then that video went up, in which the audio was a fucking travesty, but no one seemed to mind, so I greatly appreciate that. You guys are very understanding. You let me off a lot of the time with stuff, and I do appreciate it. But we jumped from like 1960 to like 2,000 by the end of that day. So not a huge leap, but a leap, and a little bit quicker than I was expecting. And it occurred to me that I didn't really have anything planned for 2,000 subs. I asked people on the Discord. They provided me with some stuff. I don't know. I thought about it, and I thought about it at length, and I was kind of fretting about it last night, actually. I hadn't even decided last night that I wanted to do this. I hadn't even decided that much. This isn't even the 2,000 sub video, I should point out. I'm doing this in response to getting 2,000 subs, but this isn't the 2,000 sub video. There's going to be another one. Because, hey, you know, 1,000 subs, one video, 2,000 subs, two videos. I'm setting a bad precedent there. I'm setting a really bad precedent. What if we get to 10,000 or 20,000? Well, I'm supposed to do 20 videos to celebrate? No, I'll rein myself in on that front. But yeah, why not for now, you know, because Foreman Talks is kind of a sub video. It's not like it's not an LP, it's not a playthrough, it's just me talking. I don't remember what I was talking about. I have just gotten up because I was like, right, well, if I'm going to do this, and I'd quite like Foreman Plays to go up alongside a video instead of Foreman Talks to go up alongside a video instead of just doing it by itself, that means I need to really crack on with work today, which, as you may have noticed, and you would be correct in thinking so, thereby nullifies the potential benefit of having something easier to put up if I'm already putting up something normal alongside it. But this is a special case. Like I said, this is 2,000 subs. You know, I'm going to put in a little extra work for it, even though I put in a lot already. But more extra, because you guys deserve it. Because you got me to 2,000 subs. Holy shit, even if you guys weren't being excessively supportive up to this point, and you are, you guys got me to 2,000 subs. At least I can just put a little bit of work in. 2,000 sub video itself. Look, I thought about this at length. Like I mentioned, I did. And the more I thought about it, the more all I could think to myself was like, look, you're going to keep playing this up in your head, and you're going to try and make like the grandest, most big and important thing ever, and it's not going to work out. It's not going to pan out the way you want it to, right? You're going to build it up too much, and it's going to turn out all right, maybe even good, but you're always going to look at it and be like, oh, I wish I could have done more, I wish it would have been better. And, you know, this is something we all feel in regards to certain things. We're like, oh, I wish I could have done this better, I wish this had been better. But my concern was that my thought process along these lines of like just constantly delaying it, because I'm like, oh, can I come up with something better? Can I do something better? Can I think of something better? If I keep delaying it, I'm just never gonna fucking do it. Ever. You know, we just wouldn't have a 2,000 sub video, and I know it's not required per se, but it feels like something I should do, and it would be better to have one than not. Even if it's not the most amazing video ever made, we can at least have that moment where we as a collective are celebrating the fact that we got to 2,000. Plus, while it's not the most high profile thing ever, it is something in relation to what everyone loves here, what brought us all together. So I think it'll be appreciated, even if it's perhaps not the greatest thing ever. I don't know, I haven't recorded it yet. It might be great, it might be terrible, I don't know, I have no idea. But that's my thought process going into it. I know it doesn't seem like a lot of the time, but I do think about this stuff a lot. I think about it excessively. Every waking moment is kind of spent thinking about these things, because I am committed, you know, I'm really committed to making videos. This is very important to me. It is not including people, because that's a different scale of importance. You know, people were always going to be the most important thing. Individuals, family, friends, loved ones, what have you. But this is the most important thing in my life. Barring dogs as well. Pets need to be included as well, in that as well. I would delete the channel if it meant saving my dogs. I don't care. But in terms of non-living things, this work is the most important thing in my life by a wide margin, by an absolute massive wide margin. I am very, very committed to doing this. And I do think about what I need to do for it, what I don't need to do for it, a lot of the time. There's another reason actually why I wanted to start doing Foreman Talks again, and it's because I'm stupid. I'm quite stupid actually. Well, it's not necessarily this doesn't necessarily stem from actual stupidity, but it's just not thinking, really, where it's like, I'll post something, you know, someone will ask me a question in Discord, right? About anything, and most frequently, or most recently, it'd be something about like the Abno story readings, or the starting of Library of Ruiner, or Wonderlab and stuff like that, and I would post a response in Discord, and then I'd just be like, okay, I've answered that question and leave it. Without remembering that my Discord has like, I think I could check right now actually, how many people are in the Discord? I'm trying to move the mouse without upsetting the microphone. That's gonna make noise, I am sorry. This is a very informal video. How many people are here? I actually don't know. How do I check? Doesn't matter. Several hundred. The point is there's several hundred people in the Discord server, and this channel has 2,000 subs. If I post something in the Discord, great, a couple hundred people now know that, but the rest of you don't. Which means if I want to say stuff, I need to say stuff on the channel so you guys hear about it. Otherwise, well, you're not going to know, are you? How could you possibly know unless someone from the Discord decided to leave and go to the rest of the world and just post everywhere the things I say, and I don't know why anyone would do that, and it wouldn't make a lot of sense to do anyway. I need to actually tell you guys things in a public format, a public forum, a public setting, and yeah, I could use the posts and community tabs on YouTube, and indeed I might do that for smaller messages, but for more detailed things, and to just generally give you guys an idea of where my mind's at, it feels like it makes more sense to use something like Foreman Talks to do so. I don't know, it's maybe a more fun way to do it as well, where it's like, well, if you want something you can listen to while you're, I don't know, playing a game or doing uni work or normal work or just vegging out, I suppose, that's what this can do. It can do that for you. It's kind of the original intention of it in the first place, but let's get down or get back, I suppose, to brass tacks, because we briefly discussed it and then stopped. Yeah, 2,000 subs, right? Sorry for the click again, I had to go back to Audacity to make sure it's not fucking out on me, because I swear to God, this microphone, I will get back to 2,000 subs, I swear. This microphone is weird, right? It's a HyperX Quadcast, apparently it's quite a common mic. Two of my friends who stream have one. And it's a nice mic. It does the little glowy colors on the thing when it's on, so you definitely know it's not muted, which is very good. And you tap it on the top to mute it whenever you like. I almost accidentally just tapped it, and that would have been a bit of a problem. But it's a good mic in terms of its utility. But Audacity doesn't like it. Audacity does not like it. And for those of you who don't know, Audacity is my commentary audio recording software. It's free, so if you're thinking of getting into this yourself, I would recommend using Audacity because it allows you to record your audio commentary separate from your in-game audio, so like in-game sounds, music and all that, so that you can more finely control when things like just your audio in general. Plus, if one of them breaks, if something goes wrong with one bit of audio, it won't ruin the other. Plus, there are many reasons to use separate audio recording software, trust me. If the game you're playing happens to randomly be quite loud, and trust me, this does happen, games have widely varying audio levels as standard. If the game you play is too loud, and you've recorded it in such a way that your mic audio is fused with your game audio, and the game audio is too loud, well, people just can't hear you. And that's like crippling for a video. So I highly recommend using separate commentary recording software. But as much as I am talking up how great Audacity is right now, it does not get along with this microphone. I don't understand it. Like, there's a spinny thingy on the bottom of the mic that lets you adjust the gain, right? And this seems to have a suggestion of an effect on the actual volume of the mic itself, whereas on the previous one, gain very clearly affected the audio itself and how loud it was going to be and various other things. On this one, it seems to hint at a possibility that it might sometimes be affecting it, and then sometimes it comes in full force. I've had recordings on this mic where I had to stop and start over, where the mic appeared to only be recording on like one side or like one frequency. I don't understand how this thing works. It's fucking weird, but it sounds awful. I went over it and I was like, that sounds dreadful, and then it would stop doing it. But then sometimes the mic would record louder, but then sometimes it would record quieter with no change in settings. It just kind of did this, and I don't understand it. It scares me. I'm glad I've got a new mic, because this thing doesn't make the firing noises that my Blue Yeti made, which I assume is because it's old. That Blue Yeti, I've had it for over 5 years. It's probably quite old. I've kept it in storage just in case, so that if this mic breaks, I'm not just sitting around waiting for a new one to record more videos. But yeah, I wanted a fresher mic, but of course it comes with its own problems, because everything on this channel comes with its own problems. My god, when I tried to upgrade the my capture hardware, right, which is when we went up from 30 frames per second to 60 frames per second per video, and to be fair, that's been a noticeable difference. I'm very glad I did it. When I first got it, my god, I originally used an Elgato HD capture card, or capture hardware, a little box, and you plug plugs into it. It's external to the computer for those of you who are in the know of such things. And I used Elgato's recording software with it because it seemed to fit, right? That makes sense. And that was back when I was recording at 30 frames per second. Now, that thing had its problems. It had many problems, but I could use it like with an 85% reliability rate, which is better than it used to be. So yeah, I used it. I was fine with it. I just kept using it. And then eventually I was like, look, the channel's kicking off. I'm working my day job and I'm making some decent money. I make less money now because we're a little more quiet, but that's okay because the channel's making more money, so it kind of balances out. And I was like, let's upgrade to 60 frames per second because, you know, as much as you guys had been very understanding and didn't really even complain about the quality or lack thereof visually of my videos, I was like, we do need to kind of bring this channel into the 21st century because we're still back near the 20th century at this point. Things need to be done, changes need to be made. So I did order an upgrade. I got a new capture card, which is very good. But the problem is, Elgato, in their sheer brilliance, just overwhelming wisdom and brain power, big brain energy that they have, right? They created different pieces of recording software for different pieces of recording hardware. Now, this does make sense, of course, because the hardware is different, and you would need something different to go along with that. But the recording hardware, and I'm actually going to try and make sure I remember the name for this, because if any of you are going to use this stuff yourself, you need to know this, right? I'm using a Game Capture HD60S, I think is the one I've got, and it recommends on Elgato's site software used with it, right? Elgato's own software. Don't use it. Don't use it. It doesn't work. It barely functions. I couldn't get it to work at all. It was appallingly bad. I couldn't understand it. I was like, why? You know, you already had software that works, and now you have software that don't. Why? Why have you done it like this? I don't understand. I googled stuff. I tried to get it working for the longest time. It just wasn't having it. And I was in despair at this point because I was like, did I just spend several £100 to get capture hardware that I can't use? Because, you know, you spend £20 on a cable and it doesn't work, you're pretty pissed off. When you spend several £100 on expensive hardware that you can't use, that's devastating. That's spiraling. That's spending the rest of the day in a horrible, horrible mood because I wouldn't have been able to replace it again until the next month, which is ages away, and I wanted to upgrade it there and then. As it turns out, the solution was to just use OBS. I'm sure you've all heard of OBS Studio. Just use that instead because it doesn't fuck around. It's a little bit complicated, I have to admit. Whenever I open up OBS, I'm like, I'm not really sure what half this shit does. I think it's built more for streamers than recorders, but I've got it working. It works for me. I now record videos of it. They're in 60 frames per second. Everything's good. It's worked out. But yeah, upgrading equipment, getting new equipment, figuring out how it works is always a challenge. And I swear every time I upgrade my equipment on this show, it results in at least one video that is a little fucky. That is a little not working very goodly. Hence, what was it, Terraria Part 4 and the finale of LobCorp, which I know you guys are fine with it, but it frustrates me that the last part of LobCorp had those audio issues. It's so fucking typical because I had something, the same thing happened to me when I did Elden Ring. Although the funny thing there was I didn't even upgrade my equipment. To this day, I can't remember why I had audio issues on that final episode, but I did, and it upsets me because it's always the finale. It's always the fucking finale that there's something wrong with the audio. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. It irritates me because like that's the pinnacle moment of the series. And we're finally rounding it off. And it's like, here's the end. We took so long to get here. It was a big journey, especially a game like Elden Ring, which is fucking big, by the way. No spoilers for Elden Ring, don't worry. But it's fucking big. And to have come all that way and done all that shit just to get to the end and then have my microphone be shit or my audio be shit. I think I might have fucked up treating the audio in Audacity or something. I don't know. But I did something. I did something wrong. I did something incorrectly. It's something, I know it was my fault. I'm almost certain of that. Things don't just go wrong. Sometimes they do, but here's the key, right? I know it's my fault each time, because if something goes wrong, I should have kept an eye out for it, right? If my audio is recording weird, I should be looking at Audacity to find out that it is recording weird. I can see the waveform as it's being produced, right? I can see if something's wrong. Now, if audio quality goes down, I don't know, there's no way I can check that right now, but when this microphone was screwing out, there's two channels showing waveform. When it was fucking up, it only showed a waveform on one channel and it was like peaking, which is how you could tell that something is wrong. When I tried to do face cam on the last part of LobCorp and failed, I don't know, maybe I should have noticed I hadn't hit the start camera button. I don't know, that would have helped. To be fair, I'm not particularly upset about not having face cam in the final part of LobCorp because I don't think that really matters that much. I wanted to do it, but once I realized I hadn't, I was like, I don't even care, right? I was like, we were building up to the penultimate points of that game. No spoilers for Lob, don't worry. But we were building up to the penultimate moment in that final thing, and I was like, screw it. Who cares about the camera? Don't even worry about the camera. Make a joke about it. Who cares? Doesn't matter. More important things are happening right now, you know? Don't even worry about it. Who cares? But, yeah, I would say that, having my equipment fail, or me fail to check the equipment properly, or just having equipment troubles, is probably one of the most frustrating and demoralizing aspects of making videos. Especially since every time I have some kind of equipment malfunction, it's on a recording where I feel like I did a really good job. It's always on recordings where I feel like I really flowed, like everything was going well, and I was really into it and talking and just like, you know, getting a really, really good flow. Jokes are coming out, I'm saying funny things, sometimes I'm saying insightful things. Even I can do it sometimes happens, and then the equipment breaks. I bet it's gonna happen right now. I bet there's something wrong with this video. I could just kind of feel it. I don't know. I get a spider sense about it, and then I check it in post, and I'm like, yep, that audio's fucked. don't know why, or I do know why didn't I check? But I've literally got Audacity open right now. If there's a problem with the mic, I should know about it, which means any problems will probably be in post. Who knows? Oh, it hurts. Did you know I did a full series on Bloodborne, right? Because I love that game. And there is an entire dungeon, entire area, entire section of that game that is missing from the playthrough because I forgot to hit record. It's easily done. You'd be surprised. It sounds like the dumbest thing in the world. It's like, how could you forget to do the one thing you need to do? You would be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, how easy it is to forget certain things, especially when you have made over 1,000 videos. Yes, lest we forget, I have made over 1,000 videos. There are over 1,000 videos on this channel. And this isn't my first channel either. I did another channel for like, 3 years? I made multiple hundred videos there as well. So in reality, I'm actually closer to like 1,500 videos. But I should point out the videos on the previous channel are fucking garbage. Don't even look for it, there's no point. Most people aren't even going through the old backlog on this channel. I don't know why you'd go back and even further to find videos that are of even lower quality. Not worth it. Trust me, the best stuff I make is right now. We can all agree on that. But, yeah, I got way off topic there, or way off intended topic. That is kind of the joy of doing Foreman Talks, though, is I enjoy getting the ability to just talk. It doesn't have to be, I don't actually have to stay strictly on topic. It's barely a podcast, because a podcast is more professionally done. It is just Foreman Talks. That's all it is. That is all it's intended to be. It's not... I have gone to lengths in my construction of this little sub-show to really make it the least stressful thing I possibly can. Because it is supposed to be... It's an easy day of work, you know? Like, we all have days... You know, you all have work days where some suck, some are normal, and then you get some days that are like, well, this is just easy, I can just kind of relax and get on with it. Not every job, I suppose. Some jobs are just pretty horrible, full on through the day, I imagine. I've had jobs like that too, I know how it is. But sometimes you get easy work days, and that's kind of what I wanted Foreman Talks to be, just a bit more relaxing. But I do want to actually discuss 2,000 subs and getting there, because that is kind of the intent for today's video, or today's talk. But I keep veering off topic because I guess I have a lot to talk about. It's been a long time since I did Foreman Talks. It turns out there's a lot of random crap in my brain I want to get off my chest. Guys, fucking 2,000 subs. Fuck, we're there. We're actually there. We actually got there. We actually arrived. Right. Here's the part where things get troublesome, right? Because a lot of people have filtered in, or flowed in, or however you want to describe it, over the course of the past few months. Over about the past, it's the 11th now, 4 or 5 months or so. Y'all have just started flooding in since I posted the first LobCorp video. And when talking about myself, it's difficult because I don't know what most of you have heard me say, right? I know I'm repeating myself on a lot of things when it comes to talking about me, myself, the channel, the show, how it's been, how I hope it will be. I know I'm repeating myself a lot. And for some of you, for instance, the people who were here before LobCorp, I imagine it's fucking agony, because you've heard me say the same things like 10 times. I don't think that's an exaggeration. I think it might actually be around 10 times, which is not good. And I apologize, but this goes back to what I was saying about the people, you know, saying stuff on Discord and then saying stuff on the show. It's like, I was stuck in this mindset where if I say something or type something, I assume everyone's fucking heard it, and that's not true. But, you know, there is a reason to repeat myself, because not everyone sees or hears everything. I do need to repeat myself on certain occasions to make sure that people are getting the message, especially when it comes to things like, you know, Runa, Wonderlab, Abno's story readings, I guess Inscription now, because people are way into that. I'm very glad, because Inscription is a dope game. Please don't post spoilers for Inscription. It's very cool. I don't want it spoiled. You get the idea. I don't want anything spoiled. Don't post spoilers in the comments, for God's sake. What is wrong with you? I do check the comments. Don't post spoilers. Oh, frustrates me, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So, I'm going to talk about stuff in regards to the channel this year and getting to 2,000 subs, I'm sure all of you have probably heard before, or many of you have heard before, so feel free to just zone out if what I'm saying right now is stuff you've heard before. But I'm hopefully today, by the time we get to the end of this, I will have said new things that may interest you. I don't know, it's just a podcast style video, so I guess I'm not saying anything that interesting, but it's kind of the purpose of it, I suppose. Anyway, start of this year, right? Or perhaps we'll start at New Year's Eve last year. I went to a party at my friend's house. It was a great time, you know, lots to drink. We were all chatting and laughing, and people I'd never met before who I practically became friends with very quickly on that evening, which is surprising for me because I'm very antisocial, but, you know, you get a few drinks in me, suddenly I'm quite chatty. And everyone I spoke to that night, I was talking to them about my show because it is a large part of my life, so I don't talk to people about my show for advertising purposes. I've never really believed in networking, even though networking is a very good idea, and if you can, you should. I'm just not very good at it / don't like doing it, but networking is a good idea. But that's not why I talk about my show to people. I talk about it for the sake of conversation. But I was talking to them about it, and I was like, yeah guys, I just got to 200 subs. I finally hit 200 subs after like 3 or 4 years. I've worked really hard, and I got to 200 subscribers. This was, like I said, this was New Year's last year, coming into this year, and everyone was really, really supportive. They were like, oh wow, that's great, like, well done, wow, you've put in so much work, and now you're here. What's your channel? I'll subscribe to it. I'll go watch it. Like, everyone was being really nice. Like, my friends, who I already knew, of course, were supportive, because I am lucky to have friends who are so supportive. I have so many friends who are so supportive. It's insane, and I'm very lucky to have them. But then to also have that experience of people I barely knew, and I don't think were told by my friends to be supportive, just were supportive. Automatically, they were extremely complimentary and congratulatory towards me for achieving a very minor goal. 200 subs is virtually nothing. But they were so supportive, and, you know, like, they were just really nice about it. And we all drank throughout the evening. We were up at, like, I don't know, 2 a.m. singing karaoke, long since the new year had long since rolled in, and we were still going, and it was a great evening. But I had that party, went to that party, finished, woke up in the morning feeling like death, because I always do. And I was talking to a couple of my friends, and one of them was like, Foreman, you should set a target, you know? You should set a target for the end of 2022. Where do you want to be at the end of 2022? And I was like, good question. I suppose that is a good idea. But I'm pretty scared of setting a target, because if I don't meet it, I'm going to feel like shit. I'm going to be absolutely miserable. I'll be inconsolably miserable if I don't meet the target. And they were like, that's a good point, but you should aim for something. And I was like, fair. I will then. I will aim for something. And we decided, because it's a simple target, rounded number, you know, like it's a simple way to do it, that my target for the end of 2022 was going to be 400 subscribers. And if I could get to 400 subscribers, and I honestly doubted sincerely that I would, because back then, growth in the channel was very random. Sometimes it would come in spurts. Sometimes the channel wouldn't grow for like 2 months, like I wouldn't gain a single sub in 2 months or anything. But I set the target for 400. Yeah, I set my target then for 400. Now, at time of recording, I'm going to get you guys, I'm going to apologize for the sounds of my mouse clicking, but this is important to do, I think. Now, at time of recording, wait for it, go to the dashboard. We are at 2030. We've gone beyond, not far beyond 2000, but we have gone beyond 2000. The subs have continued to flow in after 2000. We're above 2000 now. At the start of this year, I had 200, and I was aiming for 400. And now we're at 2030. And the year's not over. We still got a month to go. Technically, like nearly 2 months actually, because we're at like the start of November. It's November 8th at the time of recording. I can't convey. I think maybe I can convey it because I've talked about it so much, which maybe gives you guys an idea of how much this blows my mind. But I can't accurately convey how much I was not expecting this, truly was not expecting this, because as a content creator, you're always whenever you're putting up videos, you know, maybe you do a new game or something, a game you haven't done on the channel before, you're always thinking like, oh, maybe this one will bring a bunch of people in. But you never really believe it, and you never really expect it. You're never expecting it, really. And I figured by the end of the year, I would get close to 400. I figured, most realistically, I'd probably get close enough to 400 that I'd be like, well, I didn't hit my target, but I got close enough, right? I can be proud of that at least. We made some good progress, probably more progress than the channel had ever made before anyway, so that it would be growth, that would be achieving, you know, going above and beyond what we've done before, but I doubted I would get to 400. Now, to be fair, I got to 300 less than halfway through this year. I got to 300 subs. So I was on track, right? I was on course to hit my target, but I was still doubtful because, like I said, YouTube is unpredictable. And I can't remember if, LobCorp had gone up by the time that I hit my 300th sub. I don't know if it did. I can't remember if that was due to LobCorp or if I actually earned that one on my own. Or it wasn't Project Moon giving me a handy. I think I got there on my own, I can't remember. But it actually doesn't matter by this point, really, does it? Because LobCorp carried us the rest of the way. But yeah, like, to this day, I still haven't caught up mentally from when I first posted LobCorp and a bunch of people came in. I don't think I've mentally caught up with how many people have arrived at this channel since 500 subs. I don't think my brain is still not caught up beyond that point. The fact that we're at 2,000 now is inconceivable. I can't really... I don't know, I can't. There are no words for it. I can't actually acknowledge it because I don't know how. It's beyond anything I expected. It's like, to give further context, ladies and gentlemen, I could not imagine ever making a penny off of YouTube at the start of this year. The idea that I could ever actually turn a dime from this show was so far beyond my experience and my expectations. Frankly, up to this point, the channel had been nothing but a money sink. And indeed, if you look at the cost of everything versus how much I've made so far, it still is. It still is. But to actually be receiving money for doing the show, and I'm not talking about just ad revenue or just Patreon, I mean both. The fact that Google is actually paying me to do this now, I am getting ad revenue, and that people are actually using the tip jar and supporting me in that way is mind-blowing. I would have never imagined it. Way back when, like this year I think, a couple of my friends did start chipping in on Patreon just to show support, you know, and to hope, and in their words, fingers crossed, get the ball rolling so that people would, like, support me, I guess. Like, I don't push Patreon hard because I'm not in financial trouble, basically. If I was in financial trouble, I would start pushing Patreon, but otherwise, no, it's a tip jar. The money helps. Money always helps. You know, when you're running anything, money helps. But I never felt the need to actually properly go out and be like, guys, please do my Patreon, because I'm not in trouble. I'm okay. I live relatively comfortably. I'm not rich or anything, far from it, but I'm okay. There are people who need the money more, so I'm not going to try and step in front of them. It's literally just a tip jar where it's like, hey, if you fancy it, there it is. That is all the Patreon is at the moment, and to be honest, I can't speak for the future, but that's all I ever want it to be. Maybe if I desperately, like if my computer explodes or something, maybe then I'll take to it and be like, guys, I really need your help because I can't run the show without it. Then I might try and push it a bit more, but otherwise, no, I never want to push it. But the point is, I didn't need to. I don't need to push it. Because some of you are already on there supporting me, which is insane. And greatly appreciated. I don't know if I say it enough. I could never say it enough, could I? Really, let's be real. But the idea that people actually support me on the show, on Patreon, is nuts. And I've had people even turn around and be like, oh, I wish I could support you on Patreon, but I don't really have the money. Don't fucking worry about it. Seriously, do not worry about it. You watch the show, you're helping me. Straight up. Just by being here, you help me. There's no contest for who's helping me the most. There's no competitiveness for who's doing the most to help me, who has the greatest level of appreciation in my eyes. I've never wanted it to be that way. I never want it to be that way. I hope to God this doesn't age poorly. I hope future me, not the editing me, but the actual me in the future, keeps this in mind. And if he doesn't, well, that's going to be really embarrassing. But it's why I set the Patreon up as a tip jar. It's why I didn't do too many rewards and special perks on Discord and stuff, because I didn't like the idea of having people who watch this show or join the Discord or both or whatever. I didn't like the idea of people just sort of being able to be more important by throwing money at me. You know, like all of you watch the show. All of you are valuable to me, both on a personal level, which is why I set up the Discord, because I wanted to be able to get to know the people who watch the show, and from a purely pragmatic business view, if you like, you know, that fucking soulless looking at numbers aspect, where it's like everyone is valuable, everyone helps. You all help. You all do help me. Even if you're using ad blockers, I don't care if you're using ad blockers. Use ad blockers. I got YouTube Premium because I was pissed off with having to see ads all the time, and I do have enough money for it. I probably don't, but I just got really fed up with ads. But if you watch the show, the more a video is viewed, the more it's liked, the more a channel is subscribed to, the more people it reaches. So you help me regardless what you do, as long as you're watching the videos in any way, shape, or form. You help. You don't have to worry. Never worry. Never ever worry about wishing you could do more. Don't fucking worry. I don't want to ask anything from you. I don't want anything involved with your interaction with this show to be a chore or a burden. I don't want to be a burden to you. I'm here to provide you with entertainment. That is why I'm here. If you don't like the entertainment, obviously you wouldn't watch. So I never want this to be a burden to anyone watching. It is supposed to be fun. It is supposed to be escapism. It is supposed to be enjoyable. And that is it. That is what this channel exists for from your perspective. Don't worry about anything else. Unless the computer explodes, at which point I may ask for help. But even then, you're not actually obliged to do anything. Never worry. Never be concerned that you aren't doing enough or that you wish you could do more. Don't fucking worry about it. I'll ask for help in terms of like topics or games to play or advice in games or stuff like that, but you're not even obliged to do that. You're not obliged to do anything. Always remember that. That is actually crucially important, not just in regards to me, but any content creator you interact with or watch or view or partake in their content across any platform, creating any kind of content. You are never obliged. You are never required to help them. You are never obliged nor required to provide financial assistance or to do work for them. My moderator, I have two moderators, bless them. my first moderator actually works in the shadows, and they do a very good job of it. And they work in the shadows so well that sometimes I forget they're a moderator. They are the silent hand, the hidden view behind the show, and they do a lot of good work in that respect. And they do it, like I said, they do it so well, I forget they're there sometimes. And I'm eternally grateful to them for doing it. I'm not mentioning their name because it kind of ruins the whole working from the shadows kind of thing, but I do greatly appreciate them. But my second moderator, who has done a lot of work to keep the Discord running smoothly, they do a lot, and they volunteer to do a lot, but I don't know if I've ever said it to them, because it's an awkward thing to just say, but I've always been of the mindset, if they ever came to me like, I need this, or we need another moderator, I can't do it on my own, or I don't think I can do the moderating anymore, I don't have time, anything, I'll be like, fine, it's okay, there's no hard feelings, no problems, no like, I'm not gonna get arsey with you, just look after yourself first, and that is definitely the case with everything. If you can't watch my videos, like you don't have time, or you just don't want to, if you just don't feel like it right now, don't put yourself out for my sake. Not worth it. It is my job to put myself out because I chose this job. Oh, quote unquote. It's not real. I guess it is a job. I earn money from it now, but you know, it's not my day job. It's not my primary source of income. But the point is, I chose to do this. This is my choice. This is my thing that I do. I choose and willingly and knowingly embraced all of the work involved with doing this. You are not required. None of you are required to do the same. My friend, who is the silent hand behind the Discord, is not required to do the same. They can bow out anytime they like, and there would be no hard feelings. my other moderator, can also bow out anytime they like. They have no requirement to do this. The person who ran the employee suggestion directory for the LobCorp series has no obligation to do it, and were free to bow out whenever they wanted, and I would not judge them for it. I don't know if they knew that, because I need to say these things more. This is the problem. I don't say things, I just think things and then think people know them. It's a problem I have. No one is required to do a goddamn thing. None of you are. And the fact that you do makes it all the more appreciated, I should point out. That is actually important to mention. None of you are required to do a goddamn thing, but the fact that you do is greatly appreciated. It's a difficult balance to strike, it just occurred to me, because on the one hand, I am eternally grateful to everyone who does stuff for the show, people who support me on Patreon and stuff like that, but I do have to maintain... It's important to me to maintain the idea that I can't, and I won't, and I don't want to, actually, give preferential treatment to anyone for doing this. I just can't. Because I spent like 5 years, maybe more, with like no money to my name. None. And I would have hated the idea of being considered less important because I didn't have any money to give. I know what it's like to have no cash. Like I said, I had no cash for the longest time. I understand. It's rough. Like, the fact that I can actually buy games now to play on the show is something of a luxury, and one that I didn't have for a very long time. And now that I can, it's amazing. I bought Battletech because I fucking felt like it, and now I got to experience that game. I can play it whenever I want. That's amazing. I have a World of Warcraft subscription. I barely fucking play the game, and I should really cancel it, actually, and only put it back on when I'm playing. But the point is, I now have access to it. I always wanted to play the game because I couldn't, and now I can, which means I kind of don't want to. Which is dumb. I have the same thing with XCOM 2, actually. Because my old computer was too weak to play XCOM 2 with all the mods that I wanted to play with. And now I can. I don't even play it that much, which is dumb, but it was just the fact that I couldn't play it meant that I really wanted to, and now I can. That itch has been scratched. I'm not constantly thinking about that game I wish I could play and can't. Now I can, so there's no pressure to play it, because I have access to it. There is a game on the PS1 called Digimon World, right? Digimon World for the PS1. Old ass game. Has plenty of problems, I'm sure, but that game, I played it when I was like 4, and it was magical to me. That game is magical to me. It was always the holy grail of video games for me, not necessarily because it's the best game ever made. I don't think it is. In fact, my favoritist game ever is something else entirely. It's Dragon Quest VIII for the PS2. I love that game to pieces. But Digimon World was like the holy grail, where I spent literally more than 20 years I was unable to play it. And then my ex was like, oh, I have that, do you want to play it? And I'm like, yes, I do. And then even after we broke up, she was like, well, you can keep it. Or at least, you know, not keep it permanently, but I'm giving you permission to have it for an unspecified amount of time. Like, it's in here right now. I can play it whenever I want. Which, ooh, it didn't change my life, but it feels like it did. Like, it feels like that was a life-changing moment to be able to play that game again. I've beaten Digimon World 1 now. I've beaten it. I never thought I'd get to do that, but I did. I have. I've done it. I could play it again. I might play it again. I might do a video of it on the channel again, just because I feel like it. I did a series on it before, but it kind of didn't go anywhere, because back in the day, I used to do a show called Memory Lane, which involved playing games from my childhood and talking about them, and I kind of dropped off of it, because I was like, there's things I'd rather focus on, like certain series and stuff. I've done multiple little mini things, which I've kind of fallen off of over the time. I think Foreman Talks is probably the most viable one to do continuously. I don't even know if I will. This might be the last Foreman Talks for a long time, or forever. I don't know. It depends if you guys like it or not. It varies, really, but it occurred to me that most people here probably didn't even know I'd done Foreman Talks. There's like 16 videos in there, I think. There's quite a few. I did it for a while. Like, I actually did invest myself in it for quite a while. But yeah, just having access to Digimon World 1 again was... Oh, I cannot express how that feels. That game is magical. It's kind of shit, actually, if you look at it objectively, but it's, in the ways that it works, in the ways that it is good, it is really good, and it shines. I think I might do a video on Digimon World 1 at some point, just another one, just to kind of really show it off. Because I don't know. I just don't really expect people to go through the backlog of 1,000 videos to find previous stuff I've done. Also because the previous stuff I've done, the channel is constantly improving. I'm constantly finding new ways to do things, improving things. I personally am getting better at commentary all the time, even after 4 odd years, even more actually than 4 years. I'm constantly getting better at it, which means the videos are constantly improving, which makes older videos less favorable in my eyes because I'm like, well, I wasn't as good back then. I'm better now. I don't even want people to watch the old stuff. I want them to watch the new stuff because it's better, or at least it is in my mind. And it's why I often end up repeating myself when it comes to videos. Like, I did Steriden again recently. I've done a fuck ton of Steriden videos over the years because I really like the game. I play it all the... I don't actually play it all the time, but I played it on the channel a lot. But I'm like, you know, I looked at Steriden and I was like, well, most of the people who watch the show nowadays probably aren't aware of Steriden. Because they wouldn't have watched the old videos, why would they? They're not very good. So I'll do another Steriden video to be like, hey guys, it's fucking Steriden, this game's awesome, like the music is top notch and it's just a fun arcadey shooter in space. It's great. It's funny though, because one of my subs, whose name I won't mention, but they're on the Discord and they've been following the show since the start of Darkest Dungeon. Yes, that's when they came in. Yeah, I remember now. Actually, there's a couple like that, but this one, most notably, they said one thing when the Steriden video went up. All they said was, heh. And that's because they've seen me fucking do that video, like, multiple times. And they were like, we're doing this again, I see. Oh, well, I like the game. I really like Steriden, I can't help it, you know. For every intellectual you know, really highbrow and revolutionary game like LobCorp, we all have our simpler pleasures like Steriden, and to be fair, Steriden is a simpler pleasure, very well designed, and that's why I like it so much. You know. For every inscription, there is also Doom, right? Like, no one's gonna sit there and say that Doom isn't a good game. You might not like it, it may not be to your personal taste, but you can't just sit there and say it's not good, because it is. It does what it does very well. Maybe you don't like the thing that it does, that's fair. Not everyone has to like every kind of game. But you can't really deny that Doom does it well. Doom does it very well. In fact, Doom is the pinnacle of what it was, or at least before, I haven't played this so I don't know. Ultra Kill? Everyone on the Discord keeps going on about Ultra Kill, and I should play it at some point, but I've just got so much to do. I've got so many games to play on the show, so many series to do. Someone recommended Battle Brothers to me today. I've played the shit out of Battle Brothers. I would love to do a video on it, but do I have time? No, probably not. Doesn't mean I won't. Doesn't mean there will never be a Battle Brothers video. Just probably not soon. Or Battle Brothers will be soon, but as a result, something else won't get done. Multiple people have been talking about, oh, now that you're doing Inscription, once you've done Inscription, you need to do the rest of Daniel Mullins' games. Well, I've watched a full playthrough of Pony Island, so that's not really an option. And as for the others, like, what was it, the Hex? Was it the Hex? The Hex looks interesting, but do I have time? No, I don't. I do not have time. And that's frustrating because I want to have time to do it. I want to do all of it. I want to do everything. There are so many games I want to play on the show. You have no idea how many games there are that I want to play. Games that I've played the shit out of over the years and love to pieces, and games I've never played before but like the look of. There are so many. I need to do Deep Rock Galactic again at some point. I'm telling myself this because Plaguefall dropped recently and I would like to do a video on that. I want to do more Total War Warhammer. I always want to do more Total War Warhammer, but it's not always a good idea to do so. We're going to do Library of Ruiners soon. That's a thing. That's going to be a whole thing, and I need to do that. I want to do Barotrauma. I bought Barotrauma recently. It's a really fun looking game. I want to do it. I want to finish Eratus. I want to do a bit more Phasmophobia. I want to do Battletech again. I bought a game called The Magister by Nerduk, who is a guy who used to make Flash games that I used to play all the time. I recently bought Frostpunk, which is a game I've had my eye on for years and would love to do on the show. I have Racketeer, an item shop, I don't remember the rest of the title, but that's a game I've actually played quite a bit, and I wanted to do the, like, hardcore challenge mode on the show because I thought that would be fun, and you're a bunch of weeps, so you'll enjoy it. I mean, Racketeer is just a fun game, I like it, it's very charming. But like, I've got the full Dawn of War series excluding 3 because fuck 3, and I would love to do that on the show as well. I'd like to do more with RimWorld. I would perhaps like to play more Rainworld as well. There are so many things I want to do, and I don't have time. I have Dolphin, which is an emulator that allows you to play Wii and GameCube games, and there are a lot of GameCube games I'd like to check out, and probably Wii games as well. There are so... I like to do Slay the Spire videos just for fun. Like, because I just like Slay the Spire. I'd love to do that again. I never actually slew the Spire on camera. I tried for a long time. I recorded like 5 hours of footage on that and just couldn't beat it. But I'd like to keep trying. I'd like to do that. I'd like to finish it, but I can't afford to do that, really. In terms of time. Time is the issue. Tabletop Simulator. I would love to get some people, probably from the Discord, together to do Kingdom Death Monster, because I saw some people play that once and it looks sick. And there are plenty. There are practically an innumerable amount of games on Tabletop Simulator that I could do on the show if I felt like it. And I do feel like it, actually. If I felt like it is not the problem. The problem is I don't have time. There's no time. There is not enough time. I'm going to be continuing to do this channel probably into my 70s because I'm going to be like, I'm not done yet. There's more things I want to do. Money and the ability to retire due to money notwithstanding, because that actually won't be relevant to that decision. It will purely be because there's more I want to do. And of course, more games come out every year. More interesting games come out every year. I want to do more with Ghost of Tsushima. I'd like to do more Sekiro. I want to continue doing Dark Souls 3. I'd like to do a playthrough of Nioh at some point. And then Nioh 2, because lest we forget, there is a sequel. I'd like to do something with Persona 5 sometime, because I just love Persona 5 so much. I wouldn't mind going back to Bloodborne. I want to do something with Dark Souls 2. It's Sweetman's favorite Dark Souls game. I'd probably do that with him, to be honest, because, you know, that'd be fun. I kind of wanted to get Halo Reach on my PC because I just love to do more Firefight because I love Halo Reach. I'd like to do more Halo stuff. I want to play Halo Wars 2. I haven't played that. I don't think it was very good, but I'd still like to play it. There was that Starship Troopers RTS game. I'd love to play that as well. In fact, let me go through my fucking Steam wishlist and see the other things I want to play that aren't immediately visually apparent to me right this second. I apologize for background noise, but, you know, that's just kind of how things are. So let's go through the wish list, and this wish list isn't even full. There are things I've forgotten to add here. Let's have a look. For the King, yeah, that looks interesting actually. I really want to do that. I mean, Bioshock Infinite would always be a good choice. That game was highly well reviewed. You know, Artemis Spaceship Bridge Simulator, which I don't think ever actually went anywhere, but the idea of having a crew running a ship is very cool, right? Through the Darkest of Times, which looks like a kind of, it looks... I don't know, is that Darkest Dungeon-esque or is that just something else entirely? Let me have a look at this real quick. Dum-de-dum. It seems more management-based, but still, I like management stuff. You guys know I do. But yeah, Through the Darkest of Times, that's another one. Papers, Please is always not a possibility. People love Papers, Please. I would love to do Star Wars Battlefront Classic from 2004 on the show, just because I loved the classic Star Wars Battlefront games, 1 and 2. They were both incredible. Mecha Knights, which is just more mechs. I love mechs. Clan Man, when's that coming out? Oh yeah, Clan Man 2. When's Clan Man 2 coming out? Because I played the demo for Clan Man 2 and it was incredible. It was one of the best things I've ever played. When is Clan Man 2 coming out? I need it. People have talked about Valhalla, spelled VA11 Hall A, Cyberpunk Bartender. I want to check that out too. West of Loathing. I need to get Sweetman to play that because it's really funny. I'd love to do stuff with Tekken 7 because I just love Tekken. Tempest looks interesting. I don't know, it's Pirate RPG looks fun. Dungeon Warfare 2 looks fun. The Wolf Among Us, I'd love to get someone on to do that because I know about it, but I would like to find someone who doesn't and get them to experience it. The Red Strings Club looks interesting. Henchman's Story looks interesting. I would love to do Battlefleet Gothic 2 specifically, because apparently the first one is garbage. I really want to do Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, because we're still waiting for the sequel, aren't we? I'd love to do this before the sequel comes out and then do the sequel. That would be incredible. This War of Mine was always interesting, although it's a little bit depressing in my opinion, but that's kind of the point, but I'm not sure how well suited it would be to a LP. But still a cool looking game, nonetheless. I want to do Cultist Simulator again. I got it on a free weekend and I did one video on it, which was not very good because the capture fucked out, but I know it wouldn't fuck out this time because my new hardware and OBS are way better, so that would be fine. Someone on the Discord swore by Brutal Orchestra. I'd love to check that out. It looks very interesting. Project Zomboid, multiple people have recommended and I'd love to check out. Streets of Rogue looks fun. Dead in Vinland looks interesting, like, you know, Vikings are cool. Scythe is that doesn't look like it would work very well, but that's fine. Untitled Goose Game, I'd love to fuck around on that. Valheim, because everyone loved Valheim for a while. It was Valheim, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yes, Your Grace looks very interesting. I love the look of that game, really want to play it. The new RimWorld DLC, I'd love to do more RimWorld, like I said. Oxygen Not Included, I would love to play Oxygen Not Included for obvious reasons. It's very similar to the stuff I've done before. It's quite similar to RimWorld, so that would be ideal. Madness Project Nexus, I haven't even played that yet. I tried to do the demo when it came out on my old recording software and hardware, and it didn't work. It just broke immediately, which is a shame. I wanted to kind of jump on that when it came out, but it didn't happen. Nowhere Prophet looks cool. Wildermyth looks cool. Spellcaster University seems like a fun idea. I've been wanting to play Hades for fucking ages, and I still haven't. I haven't even played it in my off time. I really want to play Hades. It looks incredible, and everyone seems to love it. The Yellow King looks interesting. Ultra Kill, well, that one speaks for itself. Everyone's been talking about it. Me and Sweetman have been dying to do Deadly Premonition 1, and then go on to do Deadly Premonition 2, because if you don't know about Deadly Premonition, my god, are those games weird, but fun, but stupid. Although their depiction of trans people isn't great, but it's fucking Japan, so that's not surprising. Troubleshooter Abandoned Children is actually apparently pretty good. Abandoned Ship looks interesting. I did a video on Stone Shard ages ago, but I'm not sure if I'd really do a series on that. Blasphemous. I would love to do Blasphemous. That game is a visual treat, and I've never really played it, but it looks incredible. Warhammer 40k Mechanicus, because I love doing 40k shit. Prey, which I actually could do, but I just don't have time for. I've never played it. Once again, this is all stuff I haven't played. I want to get Total War Rome Remastered because apparently there is an extensive Lord of the Rings mod for it, which I really want to play. Shadow Empire looks like one of the most complicated 4X games I've ever seen, and I really want to play it. Warhammer Battle Sector looks really cool. I don't know if it is. Stellaris, well, that's a problem in of itself. That's a financial problem more than anything else. Jesus Christ. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth looks really cool, and I want to check that out. That looked like a really interesting game that I've never gotten to play. Warhammer 40k Chaos Gate, because, you know, more 40k, I love that shit. Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord, I really want to play Bannerlord. I still haven't played it. I played the shit out of Warband, and still haven't gotten there, and I desperately want to. Daemon X Machina, because I guess it's just more mechs, and I love that shit. Age of Wonders Planetfall, because I played the shit out of Age of Wonders 3. And the idea of doing more of that, but in space, is fantastic to me. I love the idea. Total War 3 Kingdoms, because I love Dynasty Warriors, so being able to play Total War in the period of the 3 Kingdoms sounds incredible. Earth Defense Force 5 and all the Earth Defense Forces that came after, because of course, it's Earth Defense Force. Total Warhammer 3, that one's more closely on the horizon, but I don't even know if I'd record it. I don't know if I have time for that. Dwarf Fortress, yeah, Clanman 2's right there. I want more Clanman. I also need to consider the upcoming chapters of Deltarune, because I am going to do those on the show. When Chapter 2 came out, I stopped everything I was doing at the time to play Chapter 2, and I'll probably do that for Deltarune when the rest of it comes out. This is just my Steam wishlist, and this wishlist is not full. There are more things. I might even check the Discord and see if there are games there that I actually really want to do. I don't know if this is the most interesting thing you've ever heard. I don't know if this is even really good talking, but I don't actually care. I'm too wrapped up in this right now. There's a fan-made Pokemon game called This Gym of Mine, which looks really interesting. Heat Signature looks like fun. Spelunky, I guess. And my internet just cut out and I can't check Discord anymore, so I guess that is the universe telling me I should stop doing that now, but I just don't have time. I hope from all this, I mean, I've said it a billion times, so I'm sure you get the idea, but I hope this really conveys to you how, even after 4 to 5 years of doing this channel, and then an additional 3 to 4 of doing the channel before that, of recording, making videos, doing LPs, doing playthroughs for like 7 years maybe, probably more than that, I hope this conveys to you how fucking excited I am to do this show all the time. It is a labor of love, but it's not done begrudgingly. Most of the time. It's not something I do because I'm like, oh, well, it'll get me a bit more money, I guess I will do it. Or like, oh, I guess I'll throw up a video, who cares? I don't think you quite, I mean, I'm sure you do, but dramatically saying, I don't think you quite understand how excited I am to work on this show. I don't think you understand quite how excited I am to have this show, and how excited I am to see it grow, and really grow, because it really has grown. It has gotten insane. From my perspective, I know 2,000 subs is nothing. I'm not a big shot, nor will I ever act like one. I'm not Spamton, okay? But to have gotten here, to have gotten this far, to be here now was unfathomable. It still kind of is, actually. The idea that a reasonably large amount of people want to see my stuff, that some people even get excited for them, like people would... One person mentioned that every LobCorp video that went up felt like an event to them, like a thing that was happening, a big event, which blew my mind. The idea that there are people who are excited to see the things I make, and a reasonable amount of people as well, like quite a lot, is unfathomable. I spent 4 years to get to 200. For 3 of those years, I think I was below 100. No one watched the show, really, other than like Sweetman and a couple other of my friends, and maybe some people online. No one watched. No one cared. No one knew. They couldn't know. I barely existed, and I have never been great at advertising, I've got to be honest. I don't even touch Twitter. Fuck that shit. Nor do I touch Reddit. I'm sure Reddit's fine, but there's too much involved with Reddit that seems problematic. That I was like, you know what, I actually don't want to go there. I'm sure plenty of the people, I'm sure most of the people on Reddit are fine, but you know how it is. A couple bad eggs spoil it for everyone else. I just kind of don't want to go near there. But I'm so excited, and every time, like, I think that's kind of actually what I love about this, where it's like, I reached 2,000 subs, I'm like, well, hey, is this the time to relax? No, this is the time to work twice as hard. This is the time to keep going. This is the time to strike while the iron is hot, and the iron keeps getting hotter, so I need to strike it even more. Keep striking it, never stop. It's a joy. It's a passion. I love it. I can't wait to just do stuff. I hate editing, but I love putting up videos, so it's worth it. I love recording. The act of recording is a joy. I'm having fun right now, and all I'm doing is talking into a microphone. And talking about everything I want to do just gets me hyped for the future. All I can think about is, what are we going to do next time? What are we going to do next week, next month, next year? What can I do? What fun things can I do? What can I come up with? What can I get people to do with me? What can I do with other people? What silly way can I approach something I've already done? What can I do just because I feel like it? What can I play just because I enjoy it? And I can do that. It is as fresh and fun to me now as it was the day I started. And it is entirely thanks to you guys that I get to keep doing it and actually be justified in doing it, you know, even rewarded financially from ad revenue and stuff. That I get to keep doing it, and I get to put time aside to do it. This isn't a chore, it's a joy, and I get to keep doing it. I will always get to keep doing it from the looks of things, unless Library of Ruiners music gives me copyright strikes and deletes my channel. I'm gonna have to think about how I'm gonna do that, because that's a problem. But that's not right now, that's later, let's not worry about that. That's then, this is now. You guys keep reacting every time I say that, and I don't know what the fuck it means in regards, I assume to Ruiner, but I don't know the correlation, but... You do realize that's then, this is now is just a common parlance, right? Like a common phrase. It's not just in Ruiner. But I guess I stumbled into that one. That's good. Yeah, hopefully Ruiner doesn't delete my channel, but I'm still looking forward to playing it. It's just the editing might be a bit wonky, but look, it's either that or nothing at all. I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to sign off now, ladies and gentlemen, because there's no point extending this longer than it needs to be. There is going to be a 2,000 sub special. It's not going to be anything over the top or too crazy or too amazing, because I couldn't really think of anything, and I feared that trying to force something to be really special would diminish the experience of it, or I would just not perform very well because I'd be too conscious of the fact that this needs to be super special and important. We're going to do something cool. It's something I think is very cool. It's something I'm quite excited to play. But it's not earth-shattering. It's not world-ending. It's not insanely crazy or anything like that. But it is something in relation to something we all enjoy. So, well, most of us enjoy. It is weird, actually, to see that some people who watch the show aren't actually interested in LobCorp. Because someone was talking about Terraria and someone made a LobCorp reference at them and they were like, I don't know what that is. And I was like, wow! Someone who doesn't watch LobCorp, someone who doesn't care about LobCorp, it's almost refreshing. As much as I love LobCorp, to see someone actually be like, nah, I'm here for the other stuff. And I'm like, oh, fucking amazing. Incredible. At least when I stop doing Project Moon's shit, someone will still be watching. But like I said, this is drawn on long enough, ladies and gentlemen. I'm signing off for now. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Foreman Talks. Actually, it's been more like Foreman Shouts for the past 30 minutes, but I'm passionate about this. I really am. I'm so excited. This is not an ending. It's not even a reprieve. It's just the beginning of what's more to come. Getting to 2000, being LobCorp. It felt like an ending initially, but it's not. It's just the beginning of everything else. It's so exciting. It's so fucking exciting. We've got so much more to do. I'm dreading starting Library of Ruina, not because I don't want to play it, I desperately want to play it, but because I won't be able to do everything else effectively during that period of time, because I'm going to have to focus on Ruina. Not have to, there's no pressure from any, well, there is pressure, but not intentional. No one is intentionally applying pressure, and I'm not feeling it that way. It's not that pressure that's making me want to play Ruina and stick with it. It's because I want to play Ruina. I really do. But I'm acknowledging the fact that when I do start playing Ruina, I'm probably not going to stop until it's finished, and I'm going to be uploading it consistently, and I won't be able to do other stuff. That is... That problem, quote unquote, because it's not really a problem, stems from my own way of doing things. It's not you guys' fault. I'm not even insinuating it's you guys' fault. I don't want that wire to get crossed. I don't want that message to get twisted. This is entirely on me. Don't you worry about it. I'm excited. I'm really excited. And I want to thank you all so much for watching, because it is entirely thanks to you. It is entirely thanks to you guys that I get to do this. It's entirely thanks to you guys that not only do I get to do this and be excited about it, but I have people to show it to. People to share it with. I can get excited by myself, and indeed I do sometimes. Like, when I put up Warhammer videos and 5 people are like, cool, and I'm like, well, that's still people, isn't it? So it was pretty cool. But the ability to be able to share what I'm excited about, share the things I'm passionate about, means a lot. There's a real strong, good feeling there. I don't really know how to describe, so thank you all so much. Special thanks to Aris, Plutonium Pie, Dreamer Ghost, Leper Lullaby, K-Bub, Magical, Peyton Barrett Hill, The Frostbite, Quantum Pizza, Monsoon, Sir World, Jumping with Joy, Warmaster Oku, SCP-106A, Namad, and Kenny T800 for supporting me on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys. I greatly appreciate it. Foreman Talks might be back. I might be doing it consistently now. Don't know. Depends if you guys want it really, or if I can think of things to talk about. Now that there's like 2,000 of you, right? There's a couple of you out there. There's more than a few of you, yeah? Why don't you give me topics? What do you want me to talk about? What do you want to hear about? What do you want to hear my thoughts on? It can't all be LobCorp. I will do LobCorp, that's fine. But it can't all be LobCorp. It can't all. I'm going to have to do some different ones or I will burn out of this and I'll stop doing it. So, your LobCorp suggestions are welcome, but I'm not always going to do LobCorp, alright? I'm sure you get the idea. I don't think Foreman Talks is exactly going to be the highlight of people's weeks, so I don't think there's going to be too much pressure to pick the most interesting and hot button topics to chat about, because this is a relaxed format, like, you know, just stop in if you want to, but it doesn't matter if you don't, and it might not even continue to even the end of the year, let alone into the future. It depends how I feel. Foreman Talks is very much content produced kind of for my own benefit, for the purpose of having something easier to make, rather than the real juicy stuff, you know? But if you got topics you want me to talk about, I'd happily talk about them. Like, I'm happy to sit here and talk. I enjoy talking. Despite being a massive introvert, I do enjoy talking. So, if you got a topic, let me know. But once again, Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for 2,000 subs. It is insane. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your engagement and interaction with my content, because it is unbelievable and fucking crazy. And I can't wait until literally everything we do now for the rest of life. Everything we do from now on, I am excited for and can't wait. And I really hope I see you there. Toodles. Goodbye.